is Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be going over some foiling basics using our CheerFoil transfer foils, our foilables, and some other items. Currently, our CheerFoils come in 30 different colors and patterns. We have everything from a rainbow assortment of colors to holographic colors, multicolored foils, and those with actual patterns on them. Each one is more gorgeous than the next. They come in a nice little handy storage box. You get a roll that's 6 1/4 inches wide by 25 feet long. So you get lots of good foil. Now our transfer foils work with toner printed designs as well as some other adhesive products. Let's start with the methods of foiling that do not require any type of machine or heat. So you can use our CheerFoils on our easy tear tape and our double-sided adhesive sheets. So I'll show you here with the tapes. I've run 3 strips of our 1/4 inch easy tear tape onto a piece of pink cardstock. So you can see you can create fun striped patterns or plaid patterns with the different widths of tape, or you can use our adhesive sheets as well if you'd like a die cut image foiled. So I'm just going to remove the release paper from the tapes. Now we have the sticky part exposed. I'm going to bring my foil. And you always use the foil pretty side up. So the foil you want to see when you put it down is the foil you see on the top. And I'm using a sheet that I've already foiled something, but I've got plenty of excess foil here that I don't want to throw away. I'm just going to lay it down over those tapes and I'm going to rub or burnish it into the tape. And you want to rub it really well. You can also run this piece through your die cut machine if you want to get it pushed down really well, if you worry about just doing it with your hands. Or you can also run it through the Mink machine on 0 or with a heat. The heat will not damage the tape at all. So you can run this through the Mink machine or the die cut machine to adhere it to the tape, or you can just press it down with your fingers. When you have it pressed down well, you can slowly start to peel it away. Once we peel that away, we have foil on our tape. If there's any areas that the foil didn't stick, like there I had an image cut out of the foil already, you just put the foil down again in another spot and rub it in, and it will cover and fill in those spots. And then I'm going to do that again for our last piece of tape. And there you have foiled tape designs. So gorgeous. And you can do the same technique with the double-sided adhesive sheets. I want to show you a card we created. We put this rainbow foil on double-sided adhesive sheets that was stuck to cardstock. And then we ran it through our Easter basket emboss and cut folder, and it cut and embossed these eggs that we had added the foil to the adhesive sheet. So they're nice and shiny. They're also embossed, which is really cool. It's a really cool effect. When you add the foil to the adhesive sheets, it looks a little different. It's going to have a little bit of texture to it from the texture of the adhesive sheets, but it gives a really cool effect. So that was foiling without any type of heat or machine required. Now we're going to do some foil with some toner printed designs and our Mink machine. We do recommend a Mink machine when using our foils. You can use a heat laminator If you have a good laminator at home that works for you, that's perfectly fine. What we find with laminators is that the pressure they give and the heat that they give is not consistent across the board. They weren't made for foiling specifically. It's just nice that they do work for foiling some. The Mink machine was specifically made for foiling. So you're going to get the right amount of pressure and the right amount of heat for your project. With laminators, you want to turn them on and give them a good 20-30 minutes to heat up. With the Mink machine, you're going to see I can turn it on, and within a minute or two, it's going to be ready to go. There's a switch at the back that we flip on, and then we have to tell it what heat setting we would like to have. 0 is going to be no heat. You can run something through with no heat whatsoever. It just applies pressure. So that's what I was saying with the tapes and adhesive sheets. If you do want to run it through with pressure to get that foil pressed down onto the adhesive well, you can do that. You can use 2 or 3 with most of our foilables. I always recommend start with 3. It typically works great with just about any project you're doing. We have lots of foilable designs. We have them in card size, like I'm showing here, which is 4 by 5 1/4. We also have some foilables in kits and other designs in 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 sheets. I'm gonna start with this. See, our Mink machine is already ready to go. It turns from blinking red to green when it's ready, and it gives that little beep. I'm going to start with this diamond grid pattern, which is one of our foilables. You're going to need a carrier sheet. You do get a carrier sheet like this. It's like a little plastic folder. When you purchase the Mink machine, you get one. You can also buy extras of these on our website, but this is the perfect little carrier for your foiling. Mine is a bit dirty here. We've been using and abusing it around here. You can also use a piece of copy paper or a piece of parchment paper that is folded. You just want something folded to take your foilable and your foil through the machine. If you just ran it through by itself, you run the risk of the foil or the paper getting caught in the rollers inside the machine. So I've got our foilable design, and I've also picked out a piece of foil. This is our Starry Gold. You always place your foil on your foilable with the pretty side up. But before we do that, we suggest wiping the back of your foil and the front of your foilable sheet with either a super soft brush or one of our microfiber cloths. You don't want to use a brush or a cloth that you use for wiping up glitter and flock and such, because you want them to be clean and not have any dirt or debris or fibers or glitters or anything on them. Because one of the most common mistakes in foiling is getting little gold specks that show up after you've added your foil. And typically that's because you've got dust or debris on either your foilable or your foil itself. So I just take our microfiber cloth and I just swipe over the foil and the foilable before I put them together, making sure there's no dust in between, because anything between this side of the foil and the foilable can keep that foil from adhering properly. You want your foil to be cut about 1/4 inch larger than the foilable that you're going to be adding the foil to. You don't ever want the toner printed design to be exposed inside your folder. If you run this through like that with that little black and white pattern showing, that toner will melt and stick to your carrier sheet like it did on the back of this here. So we've wiped off our foilable, we've wiped off the back of our foil, we've added the foil on top of the pattern, and we've completely covered it, and we're ready to run it through the Mink machine. You just add it in and let the machine do the work. It's going to be hot when you pull it out of the machine, so be careful. You can remove the foil and the foilable from the carrier sheet while it's hot, but be careful not to remove the foil from the foilable until that is completely cool. Now that our piece is cool to the touch, we can peel to reveal. This is my favorite part. So I'm just gonna slowly peel back my foil. And oh my goodness. Look at that gorgeous grid. Now I used a starry gold, so there's little tiny stars. So this is just super sparkly with lots of different colors that shine through. That is super pretty, and I can't wait to make a card with this. But we are not quite done with this piece of foil. There is lots of foil still left on here. It's got that cool grid pattern taken away from it. So let's use the negative foil. Typically in the past, you've taken a full black toner sheet to use the negative of your foil. So you would put your foil piece that has the pattern on it from the other design that we did, and you would put it over the black toner sheet and you would run it through, and that would give a beautiful foiled piece with black as the background. That would look gorgeous with this gold. But we have something that's a little different and fun. We have color toner printed sheets. So we have a rainbow pack that's got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and pink. You can put your pattern over one of these and foil it. Let's do this hot pink. I really like that. And I think it'll look super pretty with this gold. So instead of a black background, you're gonna get gold on pink. It's gonna be so cool. Let's dust off our toner sheet and our foil before we do it. Now let's add our toner sheet, pink side up, with our foil on top, pretty side facing up. Make sure we cover completely that toner sheet, and then we can run it through the ink. Remember to wait till it cools to remove it, and then you can do the reveal. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love the look of that gold on that pink with that grid pattern. Super sparkly, shiny, and pretty. And we've used up almost 100% of our foil. You could save this foil sheet if you like to use this little strip at the bottom with some of the tapes with the method we used at first. And I'll share a couple of more of our toner printed designs. This is the use of a negative foil again on that hot pink toner printed paper. It's simply gorgeous. I hope you can tell on the camera. It's got a beautiful hexagon pattern that's the negative from one of our toner printed designs. Here's another example where we've used 100% of the foil. This is one of our foilables called Floral Corners. Simply gorgeous. And then we took the red toner sheet and we put the negative over it. The florals are in red with the beautiful foil background. This is Happy Easter and that cute little bunny shape. Super cute. And then I took the negative of that foil and put it over the blue toner sheet. So you have the beautiful foil as the background with the design popping out in blue. There's just another gorgeous example. This is our plaid foilables. I think it's called Streaks Rainbow because it's a beautiful rainbow with streaks or lines going through it. Here I've put our Fairy Wings Pink foil over the Easter eggs foilable. And then I put it on that hot pink toner sheet with the negative of the foil, and it gives a beautiful egg pattern in that hot pink with the fairy wings pink foil in the background. It's just gorgeous. Here are a couple more things done with the eggs. Here I put the negative from that stripe rainbow on the blue. The possibilities are endless, and all of them come out gorgeous. So here is a black toner piece that we have covered with the rainbow foil. So you can cover the black toner paper that's completely black, and you cover it with foil, and then you can die cut it. So we've die cut Happy Easter, and then I cut the shadow to the Happy Easter die just in white cardstock. I love that rainbow foil, really pops off the white cardstock. And then here's a card I created. I used a dark blue, that's our barbershop cardstock, as the card base. I used that egg foilables. There we've added that rainbow foil to the eggs. Super shiny and pretty. And then we put the Happy Easter with the same foil, but we've got the white shadow piece, and then I've put some cardstock and vellum in between just to add some interest and make it pop off the card. But it's super simple, but yet it really gives that wow factor with that pretty foil on it. Another way you could use our CheerFoils is with our glossy gel. So our glossy gel can be used in lots of different ways. You can add glitter to it and make your own glitter paste. You can color it with re-inkers, or you can foil with it. So to foil with it, you're just going to take the glossy gel by itself. You're going to spread it over your favorite stencil onto some cardstock. You're going to let it dry, and then we're going to foil it. So I've gone ahead and I've covered these pieces of cardstock with the gel over the stencil. I've used our bursting stencil for this white piece. I don't know if you can see the pattern in the gel. It does dry clear, kind of glossy. You can leave that just like that for a tone-on-tone background. I've put it on colored cardstock here with a different stencil. I've just spread it over. Now when you're spreading the gel and you're going to use it for foil, you want to try to get as even flat surface with it as possible. But imagine the possibilities now with all the stencils you have that you can foil their pattern. So I've already wiped off the back of my piece of foil, and I'm going to put it over my gelled paper. So I've applied the gel through the stencil to the paper. I'm just adding the foil pretty side up. I'm going to make sure I cover the complete piece with foil, and we run it through the ink machine. Again, we're going to wait for this to cool before we pull the foil from the paper. But I do want to say you have to let the gel dry, but it doesn't matter how long it's been drying. I've had this piece of paper with the gel on it for at least a week and a half to 2 weeks before I'm adding this foil with you. So it does not matter how long the gel sits on the paper dry. Now that it's cool to the touch, we're going to slowly peel the foil away. Don't throw your foil away. You can use it with one of those toner sheets to use that negative pattern. And look at these gorgeous, like bursting flower petals with that rainbow foil. Isn't it gorgeous? So fun. All right, we're going to discuss one more fun way you can use foil in this Foil Basics video. I've got a piece of light blue cardstock here, and I've got some glaze pins. So these are called glaze pins, and we have them on our website. They are a gel pen. We have them in clear, white, and black, and all three will work the same, whichever one you'd like. And you can foil your own handwriting. Or your doodles, whatever. You can also color in parts of stamped images. Imagine that. And then foil them. You can also foil with the Zig two-way glue pens. So the glue goes on blue when it's wet, and it will dry. Once it dries, it's tacky. So what happens is, because it's tacky, you can add the foil to it. And we also have these on our website. We have the bullet tip, which is what I just used. It's called the fine tip, but it's like a bullet tip. Or we have the roller pin. So we can foil our doodles and our handwriting. Now that the pen and the glue are dry, I'm going to add our foil on top. We just need a small piece for this. And we're going to put it in our carrier sheet. We'll run it through the ink machine. Once again, we'll let it cool. Always let the foil cool off before you remove it from the paper. Then we slowly peel to reveal. Oh, how cool. I have foiled my handwriting. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed going over some basic foiling techniques. We'll have more videos to come using our CheerFoils, our foilables, and other fun techniques and ways you can really ramp up your foiling. You can find these products and more at pinkandmain.com or at your local retailer. And now that you want to foil everything just like I do, head on over and check it out. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.